Hi, second grade, and welcome to Social Studies. Please take out your People Who Make a Difference inquiry journal, your Impact Social Studies book. This is the workbook that you can write in. So you'll also need a pencil and a yellow crayon or a highlighter if you have one. And last week we were talking about different types of families and how families are all different. And the week before that, we talked about artifacts, those objects that tell us about the past. Now, this week, we are going to start a new lesson, lesson 3. And this one takes what we've learned about both of those subjects. And now we're going to talk about how life has changed over time for families. And we're going to look at some artifacts from the past to see how they've changed. So go ahead and open your book up to page 22. You can see that at the bottom, page 22. And our essential question, the big question we're focusing on is, how has daily life changed over time? So what am I learning? In this lesson, you're going to use your investigative skills. We're going to be detectives to learn how daily life has changed. Why am I learning it? Reading and talking about how people lived in the past will help you understand how daily life has changed. How will I know that I learned? You will be able to explain how the daily lives of people today are different from the lives of people in the past. So let's start by looking at this picture right here. So let's start by looking at this picture, and on the next page, this picture. We can tell what this is by looking at the caption below the picture. It says, in the late 1800s, children went to a school like this one. And they had desks like this. So what do you notice about this school? I noticed that it's a lot smaller than schools nowadays. It's just one building. I noticed it has a little sign that says schoolhouse. Has some stairs and some windows. And this might be a flagpole. I'm not sure. And there's trees around it. So what does this school have that our school also has? Well, it has a building. We have buildings, right? Ours is just different because we have more. We have windows and doors. I don't think we have stairs anywhere, but we have trees around and nature. So it's similar, but also different. Let's turn the page. And we are going to read about how schools change. But before we read, let's look at this picture. This is a classroom from the early 1900s. So now this looks a little bit more similar to ours. They have what's called chalkboards on the wall. They use chalk to write instead of our whiteboard markers. So it's actually black. Mocha, stop. Mocha. But they have desks. Looks like they have a teacher. There's things on the wall. So think about all that as we read. And remember, as we read, you can use your pencil, your crayon, your highlighter to circle, underline, or highlight over important things or things that stand out to you or words that you don't know. Schools change. You go to school today. One of these pictures shows a school from the present. The present is today or the time we are living in. So I'm going to highlight the rest of that. The present is today or the time we are living in. Your parents, grandparents, and their parents went to school. They went to school in a time before now. They went to school in the past. So the past is a time before now. It already happened. Some things about schools are the same. There are teachers in the present, and there were teachers in the past. Other things about schools are different. Long ago, all of the students in a school studied in the same classroom. So everyone in the whole school was in the same classroom. Today, each class has its own classroom. In the past, some students came to school early to help the teacher build a fire in the stove to keep the classroom warm. Do we have to do that? No, we have heaters. But in the present, some students come early to work on computers. So not at our school, but maybe like in high school, students might get there early to work on things. So this is a classroom today. The classroom looks different from the picture of the past. They have technology, the dress different, there's more things around the room. So go back and I want you to, with your pencil, find things about school that are the same and underline them. Pause the video if you need. So I underline teachers because there are teachers in the present and in the past. I also underline the word study because students studied in the past and they study now. That means like you're learning about a topic. Now circle things that are different. And again, pause the video if you need. So I circled same room, because everyone was in the same room, and own classroom, because now each grade has their own classroom. That's different. And then I also circled help the teacher build a fire in the stove, come early to work on computers. Those are different. Let's turn the page. So the comprehension skill, the thing that we use to help us understand the text better, this comprehension skill that we're focusing on this week is called compare and contrast. This is one we have practiced a lot this year already, and we've used Venn diagrams to help us organize our thoughts. Today we're going to use a different chart to organize our thoughts. But let's read this first to remind ourselves what it means to compare and contrast. When you compare, you tell how things are alike. Compare means alike. When you contrast, you tell how things are different. Contrast means different. To compare and contrast, number 1, look carefully at the words and the pictures. Number 2, compare them by finding things about them that are alike. Number 3, contrast them by finding things about them that are different. Number 4, ask yourself, how are things different and how are they alike? We just did that when reading the past 2 pages about school. So now use that knowledge that we just gained about school and flipping back and rereading, and we can fill this in. Schools, how are they alike and how are they different? For different, you'll write then and now. So take a moment, you can pause the video and fill this in. And remember, you can also use the pictures for information, and you can use the picture of the school on the first page for information. So for my alike, I wrote 2 things. Both have teachers, and both have buildings and places for students to sit. Because I noticed in the picture, they have desks. So it didn't tell me, but I noticed by using this artifact. Now for different, I have then. The whole school was in one classroom. Now, each grade has their own classroom. So now if we look at this, we can see how schools are alike and how they're different. Remember, things change over time, and that's what we're looking at today. So go ahead right now and take a stretch break, walk around, get some water, maybe a snack if you need to. And then after, please click on the next video where we're going to read about how more things are alike and different. Thank you.